Almost 9,000 people responded to our mayoral renter survey, and I'm joined today by 3 of those people to have a conversation about what it's like to be a renter in Seattle today. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Great. Well, let's start by introducing ourselves. Do you want to just tell us who you are and maybe what neighborhood you live in?
My name is Lola Allen. I am 84 years old. I live in the Rainier Beach Valley area for 11 years.
I'm Amira Lyons. My pronouns are she, her. I am 59 years old, and I've lived in Rainier Beach for the past 15 years.
My name is Tris McCullough. I'm 29 years old, and I use she, her pronouns, and I live in the Othello neighborhood.
My name's Katie Wilson. My pronouns are she, her, and I live in Capitol Hill. So Lola, I understand that you've lived in Seattle for a very long time, maybe your whole life. Can you tell me a little bit about why it's important to you to stay in Seattle even as it gets more and more expensive to live here?
Because I don't know nowhere else to live. I've lived here. I will be 85 in May. So I've been here 85 years, and there's no place else I would like to even live. I tried to live in Los Angeles before 3 times, and it didn't work. So Seattle is my home.
Amira, how about you?
Same as Ms. Allen, I was born and raised in Seattle, and what I enjoy about Seattle is the arts. For example, the aquarium, the Chihuly Museum, the whale watching, the ferries, everything about Seattle is absolutely beautiful, the greenery. I mean, Seattle has great resources. The walk scores are amazing. It's very convenient, and not to mention the job market is stronger here.
Yeah, totally. And Lola, do you feel, I mean, as someone who's lived here your whole life, I imagine you have, a lot of family and community in your neighborhood and around Seattle. Is that a big part of this for you too?
Yes, I do have grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and I have great-great-grandchildren. There's 5 generations in my family. And through the years, I have helped raise all of my grandkids, great-grandkids. They come whenever they want. They come spend the night with grandma or whatever. Come check on grandma. So that's important to me.
Tris, I understand that you moved to Seattle more recently.
Yes.
Could you speak a little bit about what drew you to Seattle and what you like about living here?
Yeah, of course. I moved to Seattle shortly after separating from the Air Force. My wife and I chose Seattle because it's a very progressive city. I'm transgender. My wife identifies as lesbian, and so we wanted somewhere safe for us. And also, we both grew up in Southeast Texas, and so we wanted somewhere that was a little bit prettier, a little less refineries on the horizon. And so we moved out here in March of 2024, and we just fell in love with it. Everything about the city is beautiful, the culture, the diversity, the food, it's just amazing. We love it here.
That's great. Cool. So yeah, I mean, Seattle is like a beautiful, amazing city with great arts and culture, great communities, great neighborhoods, great food, great natural beauty, and it is really, really expensive. So I'm also a renter. I live on Capitol Hill, and over the time that I've lived in Seattle, which has been over 20 years now, it's just, I mean, when I moved here, my husband and I moved into a room in someone's house, and we were paying $400 a month. And the idea that you could find anywhere for even, I feel like $1,000 a month now is like, it just basically doesn't exist. So curious to hear a little bit more, maybe starting with you, Tris, as someone who's moved here recently. What has it been like as a renter, kind of navigating that rental market?
It's been a little bit difficult, I won't lie. We first moved here and we were living in a house in Rainier Beach, and our landlord at a certain point decided he needed to sell the house from under us. And we moved somewhere cheaper, which ended up being an apartment in Othello, which is nice, but now there's fees that come with living in an apartment that make it not as cheap as maybe it was advertised, and navigating those extra fees has kind of been a little bit frustrating at times.
So there's like the sticker price of your apartment where you're like, this is how much you're going to be paying a month. And then what else did you discover?
Yeah, so we, it was advertised at $1,900 a month for a 1-bed, 1-bath. and that was great. And we had 2 cars at the time, and parking spots were $140 each, and that was all the fees that we were aware of at the time. And now I have a screenshot on my phone about it. There's a $5 utility billing service fee.
And that's just for like the privilege of paying your utility bill.
Yes,
right?
of course. There's $35 for sewage capacity, $90 for sewer, $25 for trash, which I understand at least one of those being for trash, because they do take the trash. Like, there's a chute that we drop the trash down, and then that gets taken to the sidewalk for us. So that I understand. $30 for water, $21 for water heating, electric and gas also added on for $12 that we pay also through the city. So having another electric and gas charge is a little bit of a question mark every month. And
So basically, like, you're already paying your utility bill directly to the city.
correct.
But then for some reason your apartment is charging you another amount for.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
interesting. Yeah.
And I think earlier this year we had an issue with there was the company that they used to bill utilities was not charging properly or something, and ended up charging everybody in the apartment like an extra $150, $200 because they just were undercharging everybody for months allegedly, and everyone else had to pay the price for it after the fact, and nobody communicated it to us until people started complaining that their rents were $300-$400 more than they were expecting it to be.
Oh, so it sounds like part of the problem is like not just the fees themselves, but like a real lack of transparency
Right,
around
yeah.
what are we paying for,
Exactly.
why. Yeah, thank you. So Lola and Amira, I understand that the building that you're living in is closing. And so can you tell me a little bit about what it's been like, maybe first of all living there, but then also what is it like now trying to search for a new place to live?
Yes, it was a Washington tax credit building that was sold. Oh, actually, was decertified and then sold. So we had been accustomed to paying the Washington tax credit level for rent. There were no extra fees. There was no pet rent. But now with the new management company coming in, they attempted to bill us for a liability charge each month. And when I asked for a policy page, since that is insurance, I was refused a policy page because I was told it was not for anything I did or anything I owned. And so I sought clarification. So then they said, well, okay, well, it's renter's insurance then. So I filed a complaint because I didn't understand, was I going to be billed a late fee if I did not start renter's insurance or the liability insurance? And so that charge went away because it was a increase in the cost of living that they had not given proper notice for. So that went away. This new management company has a portal like all of the large management companies do. The other reason I don't use the portal is because for the privilege of paying my rent, I'd have to pay $9.99 on top of my rent. So I don't use the portal.
I have never really had a rental apartment problem until here recently, like Amira said, the new owners, they tried to make me pay a Seattle City light bill that was not mine 2 times. The first time was $160, and the last time was $410. And then I called City Light and talked to them, and they told me no way was I responsible for their light, because in our little office, their little office downstairs, they have 2 meters. One is for residential and one is for commercial. And so they told me that I did not have to pay that. And they also told me that they were proud of me for standing up for myself, because I told them I'm not going to pay their light bill. It's just ridiculous. And it seems to me like they're just picking on the older people, the people that's been there the longest. And like I said, I will have been there 11 years come May. And I thought that that was my home. I really did. I didn't even think about ever have to moving again. So I don't know what it is like to even look for an apartment now. You know, like I said, I'm 84 years old, and I just don't know what to do. I know that I have 4 children, and I know that I can move in with either one of them, but that's not something that I want to do. I've been independent for a long time, and right now I'm still trying to be independent. And I love my children, but I don't want to live with them. I don't want to live with them, and I don't want them to live with me. I just want to be like I've always been, me.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
I know the feeling. Sometimes I don't want to live with my 2.5-year-old.
Yeah.
But
Hey, they can come and visit or whatever. Leave me alone.
so many people of all ages. I mean, I'm thinking specifically about kind of my peers and, you know, people of my generation who I am close to, but I think all along the age spectrum, just the prospect of trying to buy a home in Seattle just feels so out of reach, right? And that's just the way that home prices have gone up and up and up over the last 10, 20 years is just really shocking, yeah. Have you started like looking around at kind of what's available now in the market?
I have. I have. And it is sticker shock. Even when it appears to be a good entry-level price, for example, I found one that was $1,400. Oh, that's amazing. So I start to look at the fine print and the details. Well, I have a dog and a cat. The pet deposits are now, for this one unit I was looking at, $500 for each pet, $50 a month for each pet. And they didn't even mention how much the human deposit was. I can't even imagine how much my deposit is. So, yeah, there. And then what was the other weird fee? Oh, $100 per month for water, sewer, garbage if you're an adult, $45 per month for water, sewer, garbage if you are a minor child. How can they contract with a child? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, this is something, you know, I've, again, been a renter the whole time that I've lived in Seattle, and it really feels like, it's really like over the past 5 or 6 years that I've heard more and more from people about these fees that you don't really know up front, and that it's really hard to understand kind of where it's coming from. It seems like it's kind of a trend that has really picked up in the last few years.
I will mention that there are some deal breakers for me. I mentioned my pets not being able to afford to house them. And for people with children, you know, having to pay rent just for to have a child, this makes no sense to me. But parking is a deal breaker. I need to have a place to park my car. Over the years, my car's been vandalized multiple times. I've lost 3 catalytic converters and 2 mufflers and a back door. And so if I don't have any place to park, that's another unexpected expense. So I have to look for places with parking. So then I have to figure parking into the price that I'm not paying right now.
Yeah, totally.
For me, one of the growing frustrations with the rising cost of housing is that I, as a queer person, as a visibly queer person, I'm kind of running out of places to go, places that are safe for me and my wife to exist and to be able to have a community and live happily and safely, and being priced out of one of the few places that is so progressive, that is so welcoming of me, is not a good feeling. And also, like Amira said, that we have 2 dogs, and those dogs are everything. I will not separate with them. Like, we would move to a suburb before we separate with them, but we don't want to move. We don't want to leave Seattle because we love the community that we found ourselves in, and we love everything that we have access to here in Seattle.
I mean, I feel like another issue with like rents being so high is just like the more that you're paying in rent, then the less income you have for all of the other things that you want to spend money on, and that includes things like, you know, going out to eat at a local business or like helping a friend out when they need it or something like that. So
exactly.
I don't know if any of you want to speak to just kind of like what happens when you're spending too much of your income on rent and how that kind of affects quality of life for the whole community.
Yeah, It definitely does leave us with less money to spend at the end of the month. All of the fun touristy things that we wanted to do when we first moved here, we kind of have had to stagger across the 2 years that we've been here. And it's a little bit disheartening because we would love to experience all that this city has to offer all the time, but we don't have that opportunity all the time because of how much money we're having to spend on housing.
Have you been up to the top of the Space Needle?
We have one time. Yeah, my mom came to visit and we went one time, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I actually went up to the top of the Space Needle for the first time as mayor, and it
Nice.
was very cool. It was
Really
actually
cool.
very cool. Yeah.
I have one small question. Do you like what the mayor is trying to do, and if so, why?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't believe anyone has ever bothered to ask the question before. When I saw that survey, I was excited about it. I was like, someone's listening. Something's going to change. I think it's amazing. It's very forward. I love, or progressive, I should say. I'm excited to see what comes of it. I would love to see Seattle run fast towards creative housing.
Lola, anything you want to add?
Yes, I absolutely do love what the mayor's doing. And this is not real to me. To be able to sit in the mayor's office, I don't even know how to express it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that she took the time out to hear about our rental problems, which nobody has never, ever did. So yes, I appreciate what she's doing, and I want to thank you for inviting us to be in your office today. It's like a joke to me to be sitting in the mayor's office. I told one of my daughters, guess where I'm going today? I'm going to Mayor Katie Wilson's office. She said, are you joking? And I said, no. And she said, well, seems like you wait till you get an old lady to be a celebrity. So yes, I do appreciate you, Mayor Katie Wilson.
I absolutely do love what the mayor is doing. The affordability aspect of your platform was one of the things that I was looking forward to most, and one of my favorite parts of it. It is a very refreshing thing to see somebody who enthusiastically cares about people who aren't, corporate landlords. It is a breath of fresh air to know that someone cares about me and other everyday people that just live here and have to rent, and not just the corporate landlords that own everything and have all of this money to lobby the mayor or the government in any way. Like I've said, I love this city, and I absolutely look forward to staying here and being able to afford to live here.
Thank you. Delighted to welcome you all to my office. This is the first office I've ever had, by the way, in my life. So, yeah. Thank you.
That's a real blow up.
Yeah, I know. I'm used to, like you, working from home and using. I didn't even have like a special room to work in, but just like sitting on the couch or in the bedroom or something. So this is definitely an upgrade. But yeah, very, very glad to be here, and really excited to be working on these renter issues. I mean, before I was the mayor, as a community organizer, was working on a lot of these same renter issues, right, and trying to push the city to pass stronger renter protection policies. And there's limits on what we can do, right? We can't, unfortunately, do like rent control or direct rent regulation in cities like Seattle because of state law, but within the kind of levers that we can pull, I want to do everything we can to make Seattle more affordable and more stable for renters. So really looking forward to turning the ideas that you brought to the survey and to this conversation, and the ideas that so many renters brought to that survey to inform some good policy, hopefully, in the months ahead.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.